Hey, it's Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday, right? Yeah, pod number 2 for the week. I got my boy Juju on here. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna be talking about life. He's gonna talk about music, what he is and what he does in the music industry. I think it's gonna be a great conversation for you all. But before we get to that, pride. A lot of us are prideful individuals. We love our pride and we cling to our pride. And then we forget that, was it pride comes before the fall? And it's like, bro, don't be so prideful. So I've seen some stuff that Juju's done. I'm going to let him talk about it. And for a while, I wouldn't ask him to come on the pod just because of my ignorant ass pride. And it's like, this is my guy I've known since 2010. Got on party with, club with, supported, just hung out and kicked it on the stoop. We like really spent time together. So like, what am I doing? Let me use the resources that I have to have more conversations, to have better conversations, to allow someone to tell their story, to try to inspire other people. And we just have to learn to be less prideful and rely on our resources, because we have resources for a reason. If you don't use your resources, then I mean, that's your fault if you don't accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. But hey, it's the big baby. And I'm back. And here's my special guest. Juju, what's happening?
What's up, my boy?
Man, not shit, dog. Just sitting here ready to have a conversation with my guy, man. How you been?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. No complaints, man.
Okay, Miss Gwen, RIP, come through the cab, blessed and highly favored. But for one, thank you for coming on. Thank you for having a conversation with me here publicly. But more importantly, thank you for the conversation we had probably about 6-7 months ago. You know how time is. I don't remember when stuff happened anymore. But it was a great conversation. And I'll tell you, after we had that conversation, I really thought about some things, readjusted my focus, made some serious life decisions that are actually pushing me towards what I want to do and not necessarily doing what pays my bills in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
So Juju A&R, my nigga Juju.
Yeah, what's happening?
Tell me, tell the audience who you are, because my audience, there's a few who may know you, but like, let's let the people know who you are.
I go by Juju. A lot of people, Juju A&R on Instagram, Juju_A&R. I work in music and entertainment. I've done everything from tour managing to managing artists to now running a label at Sony. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. My bad. I'm not supposed to take calls, but this is kind of important. 1 second.
Hey, now do what you got to do. I'm going to pull you out real quick and I'll just talk. All right. So, yeah, again, you see Juju, he's out here. He's doing big business. And I'll tell y'all a little bit about our dynamic and how we met. A friend of mine from Morehouse, I really don't even know how we met. I know we got super cool through my guy, Memphis. And with that relationship, we were just out because Juju was a party promoter. And if you know anything about me, bro, you know I love the party, love the street. So I was a street runner. And his dorm was in the freshman quad like mine was. And we had mutual friends, so we'd just be around each other. So it's like, oh, you selling the tickets for the party. So I need to talk to you to get to this party. So hitting them up for the tickets, then we start seeing each other, then we cool, then you become a regular customer. Then it's like, oh, you gonna let me cut line real quick? Oh, I don't even need a pre-sale. Like, you got me. I just need to slide you a little something to get in. I walk straight in. And not to say that it was just that type of relationship. No. But it was a symbiotic relationship. I think that's what they call it. He was throwing a party. I was going to the party. I'm putting money in his pocket. He's showing me a good time on Friday, Saturday, sometimes Thursday night, just depending on what day of the week it is. So because of that, you just start talking to people, and then you watch the growth years later. And I don't want to step on his story right now, because I want to let him tell it. But you watch the development is not just party promotion. Now it's music and being involved in the music industry, whether it's the tour managing, whether it's managing artists, and now, like he told you, he's running a label with a Sony affiliation.
My bad,
Juju.
My bad, brother.
Hey, now look, you handling business, you doing what you got to do to keep your bills paid. So I'm never gonna stop a black man from doing that. It'll be counterproductive. So I was telling a little bit of your story. You came to Morehouse as a football player, right?
Yep.
What position did you play?
I played running back and slot receiver, and they tried to move me to corner.
You wasn't having it.
Nah, that shit was dead.
Let me tell you, they had some sad ass corners. Because I remember my junior year, I went up and watched Morehouse play Howard up in DC, and the boy playing corner was terrible. And I was just watching the game, and I was still in shape back then. I was like, man, I should just walked on freshman year. But I say that, but when I think about you, Tone, and Kid, the football players that I knew, all y'all quit and was just like, nah, man, this ain't it no more.
This ain't it. It wasn't it. I had to move on. And I got hurt too, so I was like, nah, you know what? Fuck this.
You want to tell me? Let me tell you why I decided not to walk on it more or try to walk on the Morehouse.
What?
It was like first or second week, and like they had put out the little flyers, if you want to walk on, come try out. And I would see y'all at practice, and we going to Hump Wednesday, and I'm like,
bruh, that shit used to be the worst. We used to watch y'all go have a good time, and we over there slaving.
And y'all didn't have no Nike deal, so I'm like, it ain't even no cool gear.
Yeah, no. We had the Russell. Well, we had Nike. They gave us Nike cleats. They gave us one pair of Nike cleats.
Man, I could go buy a pair of Nike cleats with my
Reebok. That shit. That's it. Literally.
So you pivoted out of football, and like I was saying earlier, you became like a really big party promoter really quickly. And like there was major competition on campus as far as who's throwing parties. Even some of those people are still throwing parties, and they're still doing really well. Like trap karaoke guy,
Abe,
yeah, like he was DJing all that stuff back then.
Yep. And
like that was, and don't get me wrong, I know y'all partner together for certain stuff, but that's still your competition. Mm-hmm. How did y'all get into party promoting?
I mean, I was throwing parties in high school too. Like I was throwing like little random parties over at Sherwood Forest on the east side back in high school. But when we used to like to have fun. We used to like going to parties. So I was like, bro, if I'm gonna keep going to parties, I might as well get paid to go to the parties. And then we kind of knew everybody from moving around. So they were like, shit, y'all sell some tickets. Y'all can shit. You get in free. You get paid and shit. We used to give away tickets to the girls. So that's another way of getting girls.
I love y'all's parties, and I love the fact that I was super cool with Memphis because I could slide Memphis, the little something for the pre-sale. But then if I come with him, I ain't got to wait in line with the rest of the peons pre-sales. I get to walk in with Memphis, and then
Memphis used to sell about 15, 20 pre-sales smoking a Black and Mild on the promenade.
Who you think he got the Black and Mild from? Yeah, kept a pack on me.
Bro, that shit used to be so funny. That was niggas. They be like, yeah, I'd be like, who you get your tickets from? That big nigga on the promenade with the Black and Mild?
Bro, the funniest shit was I would look back on some of those times, me, Memphis, and Marv just being the loudest, ignorant, Black and Mild, smoking and smelling his niggas on campus and wondering why we wasn't getting no hoes. It's like,
oh my God.
How bad was it, Juju? As somebody who would
it wasn't that bad. Y'all niggas was cool. Like it wasn't that bad. We was all cool little niggas, so it wasn't bad. I just didn't like the strolling niggas. I ain't like all the niggas that used to be strolling for the dorms and shit.
I didn't too much care for anybody who cared about the dorms.
Yeah, niggas used to be like, what dorm you staying? I'm like, boy, I don't give a fuck what dorm you staying, my boy. Like, shit, this ain't that.
Hey, bro, we been living this dorm for 2 months and you rapping this shit like it's your hood.
Bro, they be ready to fight over there, the goddamn dorm.
Bro, I saw some dorm fights happen. I go, bro, y'all are fighting over this dorm.
Only dorms I cared about were the girl dorms over at Spelman.
Like I remember, it was some little function they had like in the freshman quad, and you remember we used to always have a stoop jumping right outside of my hall. Like we'd always be posted up there talking shit, and some women, I remember their names, but I ain't gonna say their names. Somebody had dropped somebody dropped a water balloon on somebody from the inside. Shit was hilarious. Dog running at the building like he gonna climb the building to go fight whoever dropped the water balloon on him. Like, bro, stop.
Well, it was some wild times in dorms. I remember the nigga threw the chair out the window.
Oh, you talking about Hippo?
Yeah, threw the chair out the window. Niggas like we had some pretty wild times in the dorms.
We did, but I was really happy to move out of them because I didn't really like having to ask for permission to bring somebody to come be my company.
We got kicked out of Parsons.
Hey man, Parsons, I love Parsons.
I love Parsons. I had some good times on Parsons.
Man, look, I had so many good times on Parsons. You know, I was a corner store guy. I go to the corner store, give me a little snack and a 50 cent Lucy.
No bullshit.
Get a little 50 cent Lucy just to hold that up before I go smoke my Black and Mild.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you. But yeah, y'all threw some crazy parties. Let me tell you a funny story. I don't even know if you remember this. It was sophomore year. Y'all throwing a big party over at Moby.
Mm-hmm.
We pull up like super deep. I mean, like I got some of my boys from back home, and we trying to finesse. But we trying to lowball y'all. I ain't gonna lie, and we wasn't trying to wait. Juju was like, "Nah, bro, I can't let y'all in." I like, bro, we're gonna get a little huncho. Nah, bro, it's like 7 men, bro. Y'all ain't got no women. Y'all trying to pay regular price to walk straight in the party. I can't do it. And somebody with me was like mad as hell that night, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, as a businessman, I wouldn't do it either. Like $100.
Nah, they used to be like they wouldn't let us let nobody in if the ratio was too off. They be like, all right, if it's a bunch of niggas, they gotta come with a bunch of women too, or they gotta be at least 2 to 1.
And that's what it should be, because then your party looks terrible because you got a bunch of men standing around because you know the men gonna show up early. They gonna be there.
Facts.
Gonna be there hunting.
They're gonna be there, then it was free alcohol too, so they're gonna drink all the alcohol before the women get there.
You know how much alcohol my first 2 years. I ain't gonna. Third, fourth year, I figured out. First 2 years, I wasted on raggedy ass women. Hey, thinking I got to move. Nah, they come over here, drink my shit, then somebody else get them before the night over. No sir. But anyways, back to you. So you the party promotion thing, I'm not gonna say it stopped, but then you kind of pivoted into the music thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing about the people that you were promoting parties with, you were with I know Kamal. Is he K Austin? Like, I am not trying to be disrespectful. I know you got a stage name. But Kamal I know Kamal. Jihad. Huh?
Kamal Jihad.
Okay, Kamal Jihad. Yeah, my nigga Kamal. And then also DJ Tone, who I know as goddamn Antonio, but DJ Tone. Y'all throwing the parties together. And don't get me wrong, that's kind of where Tone really started spinning this shit, right?
Yep.
Because it was cutting costs.
Because Mal gave Tone all his equipment. Kamal had DJ equipment, and Tone was like he wanted to start DJing. So we all had got kicked off campus. So we were staying. Tone was my roommate on Parsons. So he used to be down there DJing 867 Parsons, DJing every day. That shit used to be his mix used to be ass. But he was that nigga, like every day he would work. And like eventually like people started pulling up to the crib, listening to him DJ. And when we were throwing parties, Kamal said, yo, only way we'll promote for the party is if Tone could DJ. So Tone was DJing on all every party we was throwing. Tone was DJing because we started a new promo team, Triple Crown, and it was me, Maui, and Tone.
I remember that. And the funny thing about you saying Tone DJing, I remember having classes with Tone, and Tone is sitting in class like downloading mixes or just looking at different.
He was dead ass serious.
Yeah, like he really was. Like he was like, yeah, I'm doing this Morehouse thing because I'm here. Whoop the whoop. I came here for one reason. I'm doing something else now. But like he's in class just looking at different mixes and like getting better at his craft in class.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on, what y'all get kicked off of campus for?
I got kicked off for the dumbest shit. What did I get kicked off for? I want to say, damn, what did I get? Because I got kicked out of school. Like I was going for like 6. They suspended me for a year.
I mean, you were still around, so nobody knew.
Yeah, I was around because like they were just like, yo, like you just can't go to class right now. Like you're on academic probation for a year. You're supposed to be off campus, expelled from campus for 6 months. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And nobody gave a fuck. But I got kicked out of the dorm for bringing girls over. I kept breaking that RA rule. Like they was like, you can't have visitors after 7 or 8 p.m. or something like that. And like we got caught like 4 or 5 times. And it was like, they're like, all right, my nigga, like this is blatant at this point. Like you don't even give a damn for none of our rules. So they ended up putting me, I got kicked out and I had to go stay. I had to move to Parsons.
Bro, for one, I don't understand why we had them stupid ass rules. Like we're supposed to be becoming adults. But do you remember the bullshit free zone where you couldn't cuss, you couldn't say nigga and all that?
Bro, I used to literally walk through those zones just to say it. Like, hey, fuck you. Hey, nigga, what's up, nigga? What's happening? Like, it was like little shit like that was just crazy. Like,
right.
the straw, the last straw for them. The last straw for them for us is when we had that snow little shit, that snowmageddon shit, and we were on campus and all the girls basically just stayed in our dorm rooms. And they was like, yeah, y'all broke every single rule possible. Like, get the fuck off. Like, they just told us to get. So that's when Mal had moved to, I forgot the name of that fucking dorm where they put all the international students.
Du Bois?
Not Du Bois.
Merrill is one of them random dorms.
It was like a random ass dorm over by the science building. They put Mal in that building. But we couldn't stay. I couldn't stay on campus. So they put me, like, they were like, yo, you just got to leave campus. And I wasn't going back to my mama's house on the east side. So I said, fuck that. And I got an apartment on Parsons. Got a little room on Parsons. And we, 867, that's how I was born. I was about to move to 40 Griffin. But I was like, nah, I can't do that, bro. I can't do that. We party too much of this motherfucker.
Yeah, bro. That would have been all bad because people know where you live.
Facts.
Yeah, like, and you know how the Parsons parties, you know, shit happened, but them Griffin parties were a little bit different.
Yeah, Griffin was different.
I remember I told some people that I used to go party on 40 Griffin, and they had only seen Snow in the Bluff, and they didn't know that it was like not all real. It was like, you be on Griffin Street, bro. You don't even, I'm like, dog, like it. I'm not saying that nothing ever happens there, but the shit that happens there isn't whatever this movie that I haven't watched, still ain't watched to this day, is what you think it is. Like,
nah, facts.
Funny story about 40 Griffin. I worked security one night at 40 Griffin. One, what the fuck I'm gonna do working security? My little ass. But you know, it was like $50 to go to the party that I was gonna go to anyways. And then they was like, bro, here's a knife just in case something pop up. I'm not gonna stab anybody. Go keep this in my pocket and it's never coming out. If they bomb rush the house, they bomb rush the house. I'm not doing nothing.
Facts.
Y'all showed up and they wouldn't let nobody in. And the other security, they treating y'all like normal peon. Like they treat y'all like some peons don't know. And I'm like, oh, bro, these my niggas, hold on. And I tell Tone, hey, Tone, give me a second. They bullshitting. I'm gonna let y'all in. Just give me a second to talk to the dude who put me on, who know the dude who's running this shit. And whoop the whoop. I'm gonna let y'all in. Y'all ain't gotta sneak through the window, the back door, none of that. Like, y'all my guys. I know y'all. Long story short, niggas end up running through the house and the party gets shut down. I made my little $50 and got the hell on because, like I said, look, I'm not one to fight my own fights. I'm calling police. I pay taxes for a reason. You don't put your hands on me, then you better go talk to them boys. You know they like niggas, so don't fuck with me.
Facts.
But that's because I'm just a law-abiding citizen. You know, they put that knife in my hand. I don't even want this, man. I don't want my fingerprints on it because I promise you I'm not going to use it. But so Tone is spinning at Parsons and perfecting his craft, and you and Kamal, y'all just out here promoting, and like y'all really were like the streets. Like everybody knew y'all. Y'all was everywhere. And Marv and Kamal used to argue about every fucking thing.
Facts.
Oh my God. Like just catching them niggas just in the Whitehall lobby just arguing about who better, Wale or Big Sean. Who cares?
Yep.
But eventually you become you become a tour manager.
Well, no, I started managing Mal. That's when they're doing that stupid ass battle rapping. They used to battle rap, go around campus battle rapping. So Mal, I was like, yo, you're actually really good at rapping. So you want to do the music thing for real? Because he was an artist prior to that. Like he was recording stuff prior.
Mm-hmm.
He like wasn't taking it serious. I was like, you want to take this shit serious? He said, yeah, he want to take it serious. So we started. He was battle rapping, and we started walking to a studio that was on Peter Street. So we used to walk to the studio on Peter because neither one of us had a whip at the time. So we would just walk to that studio on Peter Street. We wasn't nothing but a little hiker. Go through Clark campus, walk down that little back street.
Yeah, past Burger King and shit, and you know.
Yeah. So we used to do that. We did that shit for a semester, a full semester, like just going back and forth, fucking with my homie Black over there. And then Maui's uncle was part of Dungeon Family. So literally, we used to go hang out with them. Like on the weekends, we would be going hanging out with them. Like we weren't throwing a party. We'd be going we'll be in the streets really with Johnny Cinco and Yaki Dibiashi and all them literally in the streets. So
get around y'all niggas money.
Yeah. So that's where we came up with, and shit. Even AE, the Boom Man, LA Boom Man. We used to be at the studio all the time over there on the north side, and just going over there that's just. I realized then that I'm not doing a sports thing anymore. Music is what I really want to do. So I really got focused then on doing management, and I started the management. And luckily around the same time I got a mentor. So as all this shit is going, it was just divine intervention. Everything was just happening the right way. Like when everybody was I remember our sophomore year, freshman year I went on spring break, but sophomore year everybody went on spring break and I went to South by Southwest instead. And I literally spent my entire refund check to make sure I got down there, had a place to stay. I was like, bro, I'm gonna do this music shit. I really want to be around it. So I went down to South by Southwest, and that's when Wiz was starting to come up. Big Sean was going crazy, starting to go crazy. Mac Miller was lit. That's the whole that's when the blog era really started.
And that's back when South by Southwest was actually an event where up and coming artists would actually break, right?
Yeah, that's when South by Southwest was it was the real backpack festival shit. A lot of people, unless you really fuck with music, you wasn't really down there. Because it started off as it was tech. They did tech one week, and then they had really big music events throughout the week, and they were really little shows. That's when Ilmore first had started, and Ilmore was having that's when Ilmore was in a house. So they throw crazy ass house parties. And fucking Fader Fort was a little bitty event and nobody really you knew Fader was there, so everybody would go there because it was the blog year. Everybody wanted to be on Fader magazine, so you would go to Fader Fort and we would finesse our way try to get in there, just little shit like that. So this was really the infancy of the internet era of music.
Okay, so you said when y'all was going to the studio on Peter Street, your nigga Black was there talking about.
Black Nicholson. Huh? Black Nicholson. The dude named Black Nicholson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Black Nicholson. So he runs a studio on Peter Street, 255, not 255, 257. I think it's 257 Peter Street. But basically, the Franchise Boys recorded White Tea in that studio.
Oh, that's fine.
So it's a bunch. It's this random ass studio. You would never know it was there if you were just walking past, and you got to go inside and go down in the basement. We actually threw parties there too. So he had a venue space at the top, but then there was this little cut where the bathroom was, and it goes into a basement. And he had a studio in the basement. He used to let us come up there and record for free. So we was shit. Whenever nobody else was recording, he y'all come up here all y'all want, and I'm gonna fuck with y'all.
Okay, so at that point, you decided to like step outside of the box. And let's go back just a little bit. When you went to college, like obviously you're playing football, but like what was your plan when you went to Morehouse? What was the plan?
When I went to Morehouse, I mean, so I had a lot of football offers, like different scholarships and shit. So, but nothing felt like Morehouse when I went to Morehouse. I went on a recruiting visit there, and like I seen so many black people getting along. I was like, so I really did want to play football, but I mean, like my goals of going to the league when I wasn't tripping if I went to the league, and I was like, hey, whatever happens, I just know I'm about to go to a lit ass school in the city with a bunch of niggas. We're gonna have a good time. Like I just want to get the full college experience. And like I went to UNC. My second choice was going to UNC. And when I went over and looked at that campus, it wasn't like that shit was. It was cool. Like it was a college PWI experience. I'm not gonna take nothing away from it because shout out anybody who went to UNC, but it was a PWI experience. I went to Morehouse homecoming for my recruiting visit, and it was the greatest shit I've ever been to in my life.
Bro, you went in something crazy.
What?
So I was supposed to go to South Florida, right? University of South Florida down in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who paid for me to go to college, but we're not going to talk about that because I don't talk about them on this platform, right? Scholarship is down there, right? And I take the visit to Morehouse just for my mom because my mom was like, if you go to college in state, the only college that I'm comfortable with you going with in state is Morehouse. Mm-hmm. The whole time I'm like, I'm going to UGA. Like all my friends from school are going to UGA. Like you got a 3.9 and you're from the state of Georgia. Like if you don't go to Tech, you go to UGA. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's how it worked for me. Like UGA, like I was looking at Georgia Tech because like I finished with a 3.8 and I played football. So they were like, come on, nigga.
Yeah, because the thing is, people don't know about Tech is not bending the academic standard for you to come play football there.
Facts.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go to UGA. I'm gonna have fun. Whoop, whoop. But anyways, so then the South Florida thing comes up. I go on a visit down there. Tampa's cool. Weather's great. Seeing all these exotic Florida chicks down there, and I'm like, yeah. This is what I want. You know, in Cartersville, all we got is black people, white people, and a couple Mexicans and Asians. Like, not to be culturally insensitive, but you just don't have that blend like you do down in Florida, right?
Facts.
I'm like, shit, I'm about to go down here and run it up. And then I just take the Morehouse visit for my mom. The visit itself was like, man, I ran into a bunch of cornballs that we went to school with, and they're doing great things with their lives. So proud of them. And then I'm talking to, I can't remember his name, but he used to run student activities. He left in. Not the young cat, but the older bald dude.
Yeah, G. What's G real name? I can't think of G real name. I just seen him because he just had a son.
Damn. So, anyways, I do that, and he says, "Hey, come back next week because Morehouse plays Clark Atlanta in basketball, and like you'll really see what this campus is about."
Mm-hmm.
I go to the Morehouse CAU game at Morehouse. You know, the one at Forbes is different than the one at whatever Clark's gym is called. Bro, when I tell you that shit was rocking, and I saw that Spellman and Clark in there, and I said, oh, so all these cornballs that I saw on the visit who were really about their schools and all that shit, they drunk as hell watching basketball, being niggas, and like really being niggas. But they own their shit like Monday through Friday. And coming from Cartersville, there weren't many black people who made good grades, played sports, went to parties. Like I didn't have really any friends who did everything that I did.
Facts.
But then I saw all of that at Morehouse. And I saw it like the college visit was whatever. Like every college visit was damn near the same. Like you show me the campus, you show me your best and your brightest. Yeah, I don't care about all that shit. Like what y'all do at night. And then when I got to see that, and I was like, oh, this is just a basketball game. I'm mad I came here with my mama. I wish me and my boys would have came here because we would just stayed for the night and found the after party move. You know what I mean? Because I was 18, so I could even went to the club if it wasn't a
I came for a weekend. I came on a Thursday and I ain't leave till I left that Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, you had to cut up.
Oh yeah, we had a time of our life.
So it's funny that we end up going to Morehouse for pretty much the same reasons. Like, oh yeah, this is our people, and they're doing it all. Like,
facts.
Because at the end of the day, man, it's cool to care about your grades in school and stuff, but like if you ain't got no sauce, you ain't social, you ain't out here living. I personally don't relate to you, and I don't live a lifestyle that's gonna complement that. Like I enjoy being out. Like I'm out here in California. Streets been closed. I miss the streets.
The streets calling.
Big shit. Ain't stopped calling. I went home for Christmas, and usually when I go home, I spend the majority of my time in Cartersville. Bro, I was in the city damn near every day, just running. Just the smell of streets. But anyways, let's get back. So you go to South by Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was really a turning point for you because that's when you said, hey, granted, you can have a lot of fun at South by Southwest, but it was a business trip too. It wasn't Panama City. It wasn't Miami. It wasn't, I don't know where anybody else goes on the East Coast for spring break that's worth a damn. And it wasn't just chilling at the crib, stacking bread, and just not doing nothing because that's what some people do. So you go to South by Southwest, and what do you pull out of that experience?
So going down to South by, like that's where I met a lot of different people. Like I realized the power of relationships and networking because when you're down there, like you see a bunch of people from the city that like, well, at the time there wasn't a lot of people from Atlanta down there. There was just a lot of like random people that I knew in the music scene in Atlanta that you might not have been like, you might not have known in the music scene. Like I probably would have never spoken to them until we were all in Texas together. Like, damn, I remember, I know your face from somewhere. Yo, your name is blah, blah, blah. So we chopped it up like that. So building genuine relationships. So that's really where I tapped in with like Be Right from Cremo and Dez, who now run 6 Degrees, and they started working with ear drummers. I met them like they went to Morehouse and shit, but like we didn't really tap in with each other until we were ran to each other in South by Southwest, and they were like, "Yo, like, oh, you working?" Like it's a different atmosphere when you see somebody in a different state. It's a notable face or a face that's a familiar face for you, and now you're like, shit, that's the homie. I'm gonna look out for him. Like we probably said prior to that, we probably had said maybe 20 words to each other. Like, what's up? Yo, what's good? Like at a party or something. But then now that we see each other out of state, now it's like, it's crazy. If I'm coming up to a door and they at the door, they're like, yo, he with us, come on. Or vice versa. If I'm going somewhere and I'm like, yo, that's my niggas, come on. So we built a genuine relationship like that.
Bro, that's dope. And the funny thing about the Morehouse thing, right? People ask you, hey, my cousin went to Morehouse same time you were there. Do you know him? No, I don't. Like, sorry. It's a bunch of men.
Like, bro, I have no idea.
I know my circle. But if you ever go out of town and you remember a face from Morehouse and they remember your face, no matter what your relationship was on campus, 9 times out of 10, it's love. Like, I remember I went to Hampton Homecoming in 14. I run into a guy that I knew. We had been in the same room multiple times, but never had a conversation. He grabbed me, and for the sake of this homecoming, he was an alpha, right? He goes, "Hey, you with me? Come on." And I go, "Bro, I'm with the nah, nigga, you with me." So I end up mobbing with him for like a couple of hours during that day. Then I run into Kid, Jero, and Chris Wade. And these are people I actually know by like name and face now. They're like, what you doing out here? I'm like, what y'all doing out here? And they're like, come on, bro, come to the Q-tip with us. So now I'm eating chicken, drinking oil, and like, I got drunk and full for free. And again, these are people I knew by face. We didn't necessarily run the same crowds. We would sometimes be in the same rooms, and it was never any beef. But then when you see people out, you actually be like, "Oh yeah, let me look out for dog just because I know where he come from."
Facts. It happens, bro. It happens way more times than you would expect, bro. Like I literally I'd have been to so many homecomings and randomly ran into people from Morehouse, even Spelman nights. Like they'd be like, "Oh, like I was at a cigar bar in Atlanta like maybe a couple weeks ago, and a girl was like, she was checking me out, like she was checking out my car, and she was like, you went to Morehouse, didn't you?" And I was like, yeah. She was like, I know your face. I was like, whoa, okay, cool. That mean I get a discount on something? She's like, yeah, I got a shot. Come on, take a shot. Shit, let's do it. What we doing? Like, so it's love. It's always love. The AUC unity is always love.
Yeah, man, it is. And that's the one thing that I take away from that experience more than anything is damn what they teach you in the class, damn all that history and tradition, all the other stuff. The network is like the biggest thing because you have so many people from all over the country and really all over the world, but more specifically, like all over the country. And that reach becomes so far so quickly because say you go to UNC, pretty much everybody there is from North Carolina.
Facts.
I go to UGA, pretty much everybody there is from Georgia. But then you go to Morehouse, I want to say 30% Georgia.
Facts.
Like I go back from before me and I look after me. I can only think of one person from Cartersville who went to Morehouse and it's 45 minutes away from the city. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Then you meet people from LA, DC, New York who went to high school together. And they got their same high school clique in the AUC. And it's like, damn, bro. Like, going right down the street and ain't none of these niggas here. So you come back from South by.
Mm-hmm.
You've made those relationships. What happens next?
I tapped in with my mentor, Mike Brinkley. He like literally put me. I hit the ground running. Like I was told him, I was like, look, bro, this is what I really want to do. I really want to do this A&R management thing. I'll do whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like I had no pride, no whatever. I was just like, bro, whatever you need, I got you. So I was at the time. That's when I told you Big Sean was going up, and this was when Big Sean was putting out. I want to say Finally Famous 3.
Okay.
He did a free concert at Clark. He did that free concert with Motorola at Clark.
Where was I at, and why did I miss that?
It was like a random ass pop up like one day. But I was putting up flyers for it. I put up the flyers for it for free. Like I was just doing whatever just to show that I could be useful. Mm-hmm. So fast forward, I started working with Saha the Prince, and that's when I did some stuff like put together the A3C show for Saha and Good Music. I did a Good Music showcase for A3C. It was Pusha T, Saha the Prince, Tiana Taylor, and Big Sean couldn't do that one because he had something else going on. But I basically had all the Good Music minus Ye and Big Sean. And okay. We did that. So that shit was cool. Then start going on, like he was like, yo, let's go, it's gonna be our first tour work. So let's do some road shit. So I did a couple shows with Saha the Prince, starting off. And then very next tour I went on with Stally, which was a few months later. And shit, that's when I became a tour manager. And he was like I did the first 2 shows with him. And then after that, he was like, yo, I'm gonna put you, I see that you can handle it, so I'm gonna put you on the road by yourself. And I was out there like shit, me, Stally, and 2 of the homies on the road. We had a photographer, I was a tour manager, and who else was on the road with us? That's it. And we was just moving city to city, 25 cities going. So
for those who don't know, what does a tour manager do?
Oh man, what does it? Tour manager is like a adult babysitter. You're the babysitter, you're the chauffeur, you're the baggage collector, you're the bag collector, like you collect the money, you're the bank, you're the fucking booking agent. Like you basically handle everything logistically to make sure that everybody can stay on tour and that the tour runs successfully and that you make money and everybody makes it home safely. So like you go to like down the line, like making sure the artist is checked in to their hotel, making sure that they show up to sound check, making sure that they get paid, whether it's the back end, making sure they get there to the sign autographs with fans, making sure their merch is being sold, and just making sure like we get home safely. Like that's just one of the biggest things. So it's like you're basically like an adult. You're the adult on the tour.
So do you ever get put in a situation where you had to, show your muscle?
Oh, okay. Several times. There's been several times where I've been in a situation where I was like, yeah, like Man, some stuff I can't speak on like all the way, but there's been times where we've been on the road and now like there's been guns drawn. There's been I done had to damn near press a promoter and be like, yo, you gonna pay us or what we doing? Shit, man. There's been times where I'd had to clean the tour bus at 3:00 in the morning because girls came on the bus and threw up. So like it's been like I done experienced damn near seen it all. Like damn near seen it all.
So I really want to ask some of these. I really want to hear some of these stories, but again, we're recording, so I know better. But for like younger artists, right? Because I feel like what you do doesn't get enough credit for like the necessity of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as a one-man band doing this podcast and actually trying to do other stuff with the platform, it becomes very taxing to not only like just create. Like if my only job was to create, this shit would be easy. But I gotta do my social media, gotta make my YouTube, gotta do all the other stuff, gotta book a guest and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's fun, but sometimes you just wish you could focus on the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of artists don't necessarily realize the importance of having management and having a legitimate team around them to support what it is that they need around them. Because so I had a DJ on a month and some change ago, and he was talking about the business behind it and how sometimes paying people to handle your business ends up fucking you because they're just taking your money for shit that you can't do. And
the thing about having management, some artists try to get management before they have anything to manage. Like you got to have something to manage for somebody to take money. Like I've worked with artists before where they didn't generate a fucking dollar, but it's like you got to know what there's different levels to. There's really levels to management and artistry. Like some artists are very successful with their brand. Some artists are successful with their streams. Like you just got to know how to and when to collect money in situations. Like, I mean, everybody doesn't need a manager because everybody doesn't have something to manage. Like I can't manage zero. 20% of zero is nothing. Like nigga, we both sitting here looking at each other. We're not making no money. So it's I think you said what happened?
But what if the artist is good?
Even with being a good artist, bro, I had to tell somebody this the other day. Like, it don't matter. Like, making good music does not matter. Like, that's only like 30% of the battle. Because we live in a time where it's like there's a lot of there's literally 7 billion people in the world, and 85% of those that count 7 billion has access to the internet. So it doesn't matter that you're a good artist. There's out of the 6.9 billion people, I'm pretty sure 6 billion people, I'm pretty sure there's about 4 billion people that are really, really good. But out of those 4 billion people that are really, really good, there are like maybe 300 million that actually know how to do marketing. Out of 300 million that actually know how to do marketing, it's probably only like 1 million that know how to how to build a fan base, know how to sell something, that are personable, that like it's very limited. So like that's when you start getting into like understanding like the music industry is just like sports. Like you have to go to practice for this shit. Like you can't just jump into it one day and say I'm gonna be an artist, because that's not how the shit work. Like you really got to put in the work. So like going on the road, artists have to learn. Like that's part of the process. Like that's why even like starting off with newer artists, like it's always a blessing for a new artist to get put on the road and go on tour. But they always look for the lights and the glamour and shit from them. Like, bro, this shit is not glamorous. Like tour life is really like that's a different type of hustle, and different type of beast. Because you gotta think about it. Let's say you go on a tour for a month. You gotta know how to pack for a month. You gotta know how like you're eating wild shit because you're on the road constantly. There's not a set menu. Like you in fucking like Bumblefuck, Kansas. You don't know what the fuck to eat in Bumblefuck, Kansas. You gotta just go with what you got. So you gotta be able to fine tune yourself. You gotta know that when you go to a show, you can't get fucked up every night, because you gotta get in the car and drive, or you gotta be able to perform the next day. Like you can't have a hangover every day. Your fans gotta meet you. Like it's a first time impression for a fan. So like if you meet them and you just had the shittiest night ever because you got a hangover, and now today you don't want to be bothered, bro, this person in fucking Iowa don't give a fuck. This their first time meeting you, and they're a fan. So you got to show them like it's a business. Like you got to show up and be ready to perform at your highest potential. So like a lot of artists start to skip those steps and are like, they're looking for, oh, treat me like a star, treat me like a star. You're like, no, you can get treated like a star, but in being treated like a star, you also have to be act like a professional, because it's professional music. Like, this is the business. So a lot of artists are like, they want to get paid the big dollars, but getting paid the big dollars, you got to sacrifice a lot to get that money.
And you know something, Juju, and I struggled with it early on, and it's something that I've experienced with other artists who I've just talked to, whether it was on the platform or just having conversations with them. And I mean, these are artists who, I mean, I don't know their pockets, but they ain't signed yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the whole personable piece of it. Like, so many artists want to be so damn cool. And it's like, you know what people really like? People like someone that they actually can relate to.
Right.
And most people don't think they're the coolest person in the room. They actually like care about your flaws. They care about your vulnerability. Like, how much did we love seeing drunk ass Tom Brady coming out of that Super Bowl parade and he could barely even walk? So he goes, oh, this nigga's normal.
Facts.
And I think that somewhere along the way, and especially in the rap game, it became so important to like have money first and talk about the money and the shit, that you lose some of that personable aspect of it. Because I always take it back to what a party at, Jagged Edge and Nelly, right? Think about this. Nelly says in his verse, "What a Bacardi at? Mix it with the Chris, baby. What's wrong with that?" Juju, when the last time you bought a bottle of Bacardi?
True.
You know what I mean? But like, that wasn't even a line that he got killed for when he said it in the early 2000s. But it's like, hold on, Nelly. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cristal's not cheap, but hold on, Nelly, you drinking Bacardi? My nigga, I haven't drank Bacardi since I was 20.
I'm not gonna hold you though. So let me tell you, I went to Puerto Rico for my 28th birthday, and I went to the Bacardi tour. They do have some really good Bacardis, but you got to know how to drink them. So like the spice, the dark Bacardi, you got to drink with coconut. Try that with coconut water. I promise you, it'll change your life.
There's a story of why I don't drink dark rum, but I will not tell it publicly.
Trust me, but do this. Drink that on ice, and I promise you, because what's going to happen is the coconut water brings out the spices in the rum.
Okay. Ooh, I'm writing it down. So, but anyways, you know, it goes from talking about Bacardi, which all of us can go buy, to now I gotta have on some Prada shoes. I don't even wear Prada no more. What kind of shoes do they wear now? Because I wear Nike. I don't know. The designer shoes, and I gotta drink 1942, and it's like, man, look, you're paying $150 for a hangover.
Facts.
There's a balance between, like, I don't want no Taka vodka hangover, no McCormick vodka hangover. You know what I mean? But I don't necessarily need a Don Julio Clase Azul hangover either.
Facts.
It hurts either way.
Facts.
So, what's up, Kimball? But the thing about it is I think that because there's been so much money like thrown into hip hop, right? Because I mean, hip hop is now pop music. I don't care what anybody says.
Sure.
The best of the best have the money, and they talk about their lives or the lives they want to live. I know there's a lot of cap and rap, but whatever. That there's this idea that you have to look a certain way, talk about a certain thing to be a good artist, and I think that hurts artistry. Am I crazy?
Well, I mean, I think you're on point, but it's a little off. The part that's off is this is still entertainment. It's still the entertainment industry. Like, no matter how you want to fold it, like when you go to classify hip hop, country, rock, pop, whatever you want, whatever genre of music, it's still the entertainment. They're still selling a lifestyle. They're selling a product. They're just packaging a product and selling it via music. So, I mean, yes, you're absolutely correct when it comes to, like, there's a certain stigma that's put on certain styles of music where you got to have the money. You got to go ball out on the bitch. You got to go do wild shit. Like, but the reality of it is that's not how everybody lives. And that's not like, I tell people, I was talking to a kid the other day, and I was like, bro, you really could make $50 to $60,000 a year just doing music if you get your business in order and live a comfortable life. Like the average American makes around $42,000 a year. So you can make $60,000 a year if you have your business together, and you can wake up every day and just do music. Like you can wake up, go record, go to the gym, go do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like you own your time. But you never did your business properly, so you won't be able to do that. So you're sitting there worried about going and get signed in advance for $600,000-$700,000, where you're probably never ever going to recoup. But you can just go and do the shit independently and do it the right way with your business done and make 60 grand a year, and damn near don't even have to pay taxes because you done did this shit the right way. So, but it's like a lot of people don't look at it. They don't quantize it that way. So like if you don't pay attention, if you don't look at it that way, and you get blinded by all the flashiness and all the other shit, like you're gonna find yourself chasing I'm trying to get the big bag, I'm trying to get that. I'm like, nah, dog. You can make a comfortable living year in and year out. Like you gotta see your first 20K to then see your first 50K. Then you can see your first 100K. And after that 100K, that's where making the first 100K is always the hardest. After you make that first 100K, now it's easy to make 250.
Bro, you want to hear something though? After you get to about that 100K thing,
what's up?
What more can you actually want that changes your life? I'm not talking about setting your kids up. I'm not talking about taking care of your family, right? I'm not talking about a nice chain or a crazy car, but after about, because I've read something, I think it's somewhere around like 85K that like once you get there, like you're gonna be like as happy as you can be, like as far as doing what it is that you want to do. But like after like that first 100K, like what?
Not a lot to you though. The more money you have, the more opportunities you have to buy your time. So the trick is, and I think even the idea of creating success, like people say money don't bring happiness, you're correct. But money brings time, and time brings happiness, because when you can control your time, that's when you create your own happiness. So I think certain people, like you said, like certain people, I've made $85,000 and I was like, bro, this is bullshit, bro. I was looking at myself like, bro, I fucked up somewhere. Like I should have did more. So like saying that, like, I think it's in the eye of the beholder, like whatever your like standard of how you want to live. Because like I want to be able to travel freely. I want to be able, if I want to drop everything tomorrow and go to Bahamas, don't even think about it twice. If I want to say, nah, fuck that, I ain't doing nothing pertaining to work for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, and not have to worry about if my bills are gonna get paid, I want to be able to do that. So in order to be able to do that, it's like for me, it takes there's a number and there's a certain level of commitment I have to even get to that point.
Oh my God, you're really good at this. You know that? like honestly, like damn near an hour in. I feel like we just started and like I've hit nothing. How do you do? You talked like. Oh my God, like so. Yes, and I think that we, especially like just as a Black culture, right, Black community, we don't understand the value of time.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I can make money back. I can find a new woman. I can buy a new dog. I can buy a new car. I can get everything else I can get back. I can't get back my time.
Facts.
I love my time. And don't waste my goddamn time for no reason. Please don't waste my time because it's only 24 hours in a day. I can't make a move tomorrow to get me 28 hours tomorrow. You know what I mean? I can make a decision tomorrow that may increase my income for the day or my income for the week, right?
Facts.
But I can't do that with time. So I think time is so important. And as someone who has been at this for, let's say 10 years now, right? Mm-hmm. Like getting from college to where you are now, how do you deal with artists who don't understand the value of time?
I mean, at this point, I'm at where I am now in my career. Like earlier on, like maybe year 2, 3, 4, even 5, really pushing it. like I was more lenient on the time that I would be willing to be like, all right, cool, you can bullshit, you can do this, you can do that. But like now, like I'm building legacy. I'm building legacy. I have like real responsibility. So it's like I don't have time to like if you're not gonna take this shit serious, like this is real life for me. Like this is no play. Like I feed my family off this, the roof over my head, the cars in the driveway, like everything, like the clothes on my back have all been provided by this, like by music. And I haven't sung a note. I haven't sung a note. I haven't produced a note. But it's all for me creating a business of music. So it's like if I can take it serious, then I'm not gonna force an artist or somebody, a producer, to be like, yo, you need to. I'm not gonna keep staring your ass about how serious you take it, because at that point it's like, how the fuck can I want more for you than you want for yourself? So it's like for me, I don't have the patience nor the time to go and be like, all right, bro, it's time to, hey, bro, why don't you go to the studio today, bro? Why don't you do that? Especially if you're not making me no money. Like now it's like, what are we even talking about? Like, why the fuck? Like, even if we could be the best of friends, but I don't have the ability to be like, yo, like to push you, scoot you along in this shit. Because now it's like, why do I have to tell you? Like, I've shown you what $100,000 look like. I've shown you what $1 million look like. I literally showed you what $1 million look like. So now that you've seen what that looks like, why do I have to convince you that it's more on the other side? You've seen it. Well, I gotta convince you. So it's like, if I gotta convince you, then I'm clearly not doing my job correctly. So for me, like earlier on, like maybe a few years ago, I had a patience for it, but now I run too many businesses to be like, yo, like to be like, hey, my man, you supposed to be show up today, or come on, sweetheart, we're supposed to be. No, fuck all that. We're adults.
All right, so we're gonna put a mark on your businesses. We're gonna come back to that. So back to you were a tour manager, then you transitioned to manager A&R, correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I stopped touring. The last tour I went on was Reese LaFleur. I was out on the road, Reese LaFleur and Sunny Digital. I mean, I still go out from time to time with my clients. Like if I have somebody that goes on tour, like I have somebody going on tour in September this year, and I'm gonna go out for a couple of days just to make sure the tour is set up properly. But as far as tour managing, like it kind of runs this race. Like you get to a certain point where you hit a glass ceiling with it. Like you're either going to continue to be a tour, you're going to continue to stay on the live show side and go from tour managing to production manager, or like to running the entire shit with everybody, or you're just going to be like, nah, like it's a transitional period. Like what you going to do next? So I've seen it where a lot of people who were tour managers, they're now like managing some of the artists that were on other tours that somebody seen how they work. So now they're like, yo, like I really like your work ethic or the way you work. So they'll pick up a client. That's actually how I started managing Young Chop when I went on tour with him and Reese LaFleur. He was like, yo, like you be working, dog. Like I need somebody like that on my team. So that's how that happened. But yeah, so I kind of just transitioned into a more of an executive role. Like I was like, yo, like touring is cool, but it's taking a toll on being gone for 2-3 months at a time. And now like you got all this other shit you want to get done at home. And when you're on tour, you're locked in. Like literally it's the same thing. It's the same situation over and over, but just a different city. Like you become tuned after like the first week. You get into a rhythm and you start hitting that same rhythm. But little do you know that rhythm is not the same rhythm of the world. Cause like it's so funny because on tours, like you could be on a tour and it'd be a whole nother group or a whole nother artist that is on tour, but all tours are like cohesive. So like you'll be on a city one day and somebody else will be coming in the next day, and y'all tours will be like piggybacking each other. So you'll always run into them in random ass cities. And like it's crazy because people like literally people start breaking down this around the same time. Like you go into zombie mode because you're a machine for like a month, 2 months at a time. You're just a machine showing up.
As a consumer of music, I hate when I know an artist is on tour and they decide they want to drop an album. I can hear the tour in their album most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like this isn't bad music because you're good at what you do, but you obviously weren't focused on creating music because you're living the tour life. And from everybody I've heard who's going on like no shit tours, it's wake up, travel, or you know what I mean? It's perform, travel, whoop de whoop, have your fun in that city that night. Maybe not, depends on the city. Wake up, travel, have fun, perform. And it's just this, it's about 4 or 5 things you do every day. You eat like shit. Your personal life typically does not end up in a great place because
you miss out on holidays. I don't miss so many holidays from touring. Like you miss all that shit. Like, but those are sacrifices. Those are the sacrifices that some artists take, and some artists like that separates you from being good and great.
So with that, you know, you say you got an artist that's getting ready to tour in September. How has it been? Like, with their touring's been damn near dead for a year.
Mm-hmm.
What has that been like for you? And I know you're not on the touring manager side of it anymore, but what has that been like for the industry in your experiences?
I mean, for anybody who works in live performance in the live shows, like it's been fucked up for them because they all of them got furloughed. Everybody, like AEG fired a lot of people, Live Nation fired a lot of people. Like, so like a lot of people who are on that side, like they kind of lost their jobs. But for me personally, like this is the best business has ever been, like during pandemic, because like we had time to really focus in on building our businesses out, building every vertical up. So post pandemic, we about to be lit as fuck. Like we got a lot of different avenues that are like lit. So I think like I'm praying for everybody who had a shitty pandemic, who's been like during this lockdown has been really lost jobs, like they have shit going on. But for us, like I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the best this shit's looked in a long time, and we're excited.
So these are gonna be my words, not yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the people who weren't able to pivot out of the pandemic,
mm-hmm.
Yo, that sucks. That's what life is. It's adjust, it's adapt and overcome. If you can't adjust to what's happening to you, then I'm sorry, man. Dinosaurs were great. A dinosaur would kick my ass right now. But
only two dinosaurs last were alligators and fucking lizards.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The alligators are here, the lizards are here, but them goddamn dinosaurs, bye.
Facts.
Saber-toothed tiger, sorry, bye. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna go there. So I'm about to talk about extinct animals, but then shit gets aggregated, and you'll be shocked, Juju, as somebody who has a small niche following, that sometimes people will find like one of your little things and go crazy on it. Like I did a topic about Luka Doncic being overrated by the basketball media. Video takes off on YouTube, and like all these people are just saying, you're racist. You don't know anything about basketball. I'm like, I said he's a top 5, top 10 player in the league. I'm just saying we shouldn't compare him to like MJ, Larry Bird, and LeBron. Sorry, I hold our greats to a high standard. But anyways, so you've adapted and you got some good shit come out of this quarantine. Is there anything that you can share with us?
I mean, I got my label at Sony now.
Okay, let's talk about the label.
Yeah, so me and my business partner, Danny Wolf, I've been managing Danny for like 2.5 years now.
Okay.
We got a JV at Sony. So that'll be pretty dope. Like coming, like, well, we started already, but now just like our first releases. That's one of our artists, Riz Levy, going on tour September. I picked up like 12 other producers. I managed like 14 producers now.
Okay.
On top of that, so that's pretty dope with the guys. And we also started a YouTube channel. We got about 40,000 subscribers in a few months, and just doing different types of videos for different artists, like random artists. Danny hit up random artists. Like we just shot a Money Man video over the weekend. Random artists we hit up and just do videos for them. So we got a YouTube, publishing, and a label. So all that stuff on top of having merch now too. So a lot of different verticals.
We got a name for that?
Oh, Chaos Club.
Chaos Club. Okay, I didn't want to make myself sound ignorant. I was like, this sounds like Chaos Club because
that's Chaos Club.
I'm familiar with Platter Boys, but I thought
Platter Boys is my management company. Like
management
umbrella. Yeah.
So you have the joint venture with Sony with Chaos Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
and Platter Boys, your management piece.
Mm-hmm.
Who you working with there?
So Platter Boys is consumed of a bunch of different. Like it's me. I have 3 business partners, and we all have our own like verticals of the industry. One of our business partners, Carrington, he's hers music MD. So he does all her live shows, as well as Tiana Taylor, and then Marlon's a writer, and we manage a producer Ruel, and he wrote like 69 for her. He wrote Liberated for Dej Loaf.
Okay.
And then we have Mike Brinkley. Mike is the vice president of Rock Nation. So he manages like Meg, Uzi, Moneybag, Gotti, like, and then we got Key Wayne. So yeah, we got a lot of shit. Like,
yeah. How was that Rock Nation brunch? Like when I saw that shit on your Instagram, I was hating.
Now the brunch is cool. The brunch is fun. The brunch is a vibe. I go get drunk, eat, talk shit, just be a nigga. I literally go there and be a nigga.
So when you get put in like environments like the Rock Nation brunch, right? And what is it like to be around people that you may have looked up to, people that you may be a fan of? Like, how are those experiences and how do you handle them? Because, you know, people handle those experiences differently. And somebody from the city who went to Morehouse, even before you got to where you are now, you were like around these people. Like you can literally be at Morehouse homecoming and run into name that celebrity, or just be on campus and they're there for whatever. And you can't be a groupie. You can be a fan, but you can't be a groupie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like for you? Like, because I mean, I know you're there having fun, but you're also at work. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, so for me, like, it was all like, I've never been like a person to be gooey out about celebrities. Like, cause that's like, at the end of the day, my nigga, you're still a person. Like, you're a person, you don't got shit different than me other than the fact you might got your coin's a little bit bigger and you got a little bit more cameras on you. Other than that, like, Rock Nation brunch is no different. Like, it's just we were in there and I mean, I hung out with Nipsey. Like, we had really good conversation. I sat there, had a full conversations with Khaled, but it's just random ass people like you're talking to, but it's the same common denominator for everybody. They're all people. So they all got something that they like doing outside of music. Most of the time, the conversations we were having had nothing to do with music. There was like random ass conversations that we would have that might have pertained to business. But for the most part, we're talking about shooting shit. Like, yo, like Khaled had on some new sneakers. I was like, bro, this shit's hard. So yeah, these shit's gonna drop to blah, blah. Okay, cool. Try to get my hands on them shits. Or introducing fucking AB to fucking Meek. AB was like athletes. You realize that a lot of the athletes they don't really know a lot of the artists. So they just want to meet them because they feel like they're really cool. And vice versa. All that artists think athletes are hella cool. So I just happen to know a few athletes. So I introduced AB to Meek Mill. And like they really built a real friendship.
How do you know AB?
Huh?
How do you know AB?
Man, I met him random. I honestly forgot where I met AB at. But we on the first brunch we went to, I reconnected with him. And I was like, yo, blah, blah, blah. Like we chopped it up, and he was like, yo, is that Meek? I was like, yeah, it's the homie. So I introduced Meek to AB, and they just like they kicked it off. Like they were really cool. They were homies.
So you a dot connect is what you're saying?
Basically, like I think you also got to remember too, like, and don't quote me on this, but a lot of people who are like really, really industry, like they're really, really industry. They're like the corporate people in the music industry, like the really corporate people, or the people who are doing like the behind the desk shit like that. Like a lot of them came from college and got an industry job. I was never one of the people that got an industry job and did shit like that. Like I've always been true to myself. Like I've always been me. So I don't do that switch up shit. And like I know how to talk to people. I'm personable. So literally while everybody's in there trying to be all proper and shit, like we in there, me and my niggas in there two-stepping, eating, taking shots of Douce. Like we're having a good time. Like this like the best black barbecue you ever gone to.
Bro, I think that's where my love and hate come from when I'm watching it, right? Because obviously I see you out there, I go, damn, bro, like my nigga's really at Rock Nation. I remember that's when White Rory from Joe Budden's podcast proposed to his girlfriend, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I see you out there, and I see you being the Juju that I know, not somebody who's like, well, I'm at the Rock Nation brunch. Let me button my shirt up and react right now. I'm like, nah, this nigga Juju is cutting up being the nigga who I would see on camera like, Ju, what's up, nigga?
Facts.
So I loved it. And the reason why I asked it, because I figured you were going to go in this direction, because for the people who consume this, like, they need to know, like, yo, be yourself. And be comfortable being yourself. And don't get me wrong, everyone's not going to like you. But, like, just because you want to work with somebody, you want to establish a relationship with somebody, don't act the way that you expect them to want you to act. Because people aren't drawn to that. They're drawn to authenticity. Like, I remember one day I'm at a bar in San Diego, and this was back in like 2015. Run into Andre Reed, Hall of Fame wide receiver from the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he is by face, because, you know, that's a generation a little bit before us. We were young when he was like balling. But I see him in all this Bills gear, and I go, that's some nice gear. Like, that ain't the normal shit that a fan's wearing. And I see a bunch of niggas around him with muscles. And I go, y'all look like football players. And they keep talking, and I hear them, they keep saying Dre. And I go, Andre Reed. Let me Google this real quick to make sure before I, you know, so I don't look crazy here. I Google the nigga, figure out who he is, whatever. And I go, okay, this is who I thought he was. Now I see the face. But then I end up chopping up with him at the bar for like 2-3 hours. And we just talking about football, college football, women. And we're just like, but I'm not acknowledging like who he is or what he is, bro. Like, I didn't say, hey, bro, can I get a picture? Or like, oh, it's so nice to meet you, Mr. Reed. I'm just like, hey, bro, what's good, my nigga? My name is Adam. Like, what y'all niggas are talking about Alabama about to beat Georgia, bro. Y'all crazy as hell. Georgia gonna whoop Alabama ass. Mind you, I was wrong, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? But we just over here chopping it up, just being the most ignorant niggas in this bar and having the greatest time of our life. And I walked away from that. They were about to go to another bar. They're like, hey, bro, you coming? I'm like, nah, I gotta go to work in the morning. It's time me to go sleep. But long story short, it's just like, bro, just be yourself. And you shock the relationship that you can make. And a lot of times, people who haven't been in the same space as the people who they love, they like and look up to, they don't understand that these people put their pants on and piss the same way that we all do.
Facts. It's literally no difference. There's literally no difference. So like, that's why I say, like, for me, I'm going with me and the homies. We had a good time. We ate good. We drank good. The free shit they were giving out, I'm getting all the free shit. Like, we had a good fucking time.
All right, so let me get back to a little bit of my more mainstream stuff, my questions. When you finally made this music decision, right? And was there any type of pushback from the family?
Of course. Like, they got dropped out of school. My mom was hot. She's like, well, what the fuck wrong with you? And then, like, nobody understands that when you make decisions like that, not too many people are going to support it. My dad supported it. My step-pop supported that shit. But, like, for the most part, like, it was, all right, I'm going to make this decision. I got to live with it. And it didn't make sense until my mom started seeing plaques. And she started seeing, like, oh, he's on the road. Like, oh, you're out of the country. Like, music is paying for that? Oh, like, you're not asking me for bread? Oh, shit, music is paying for that? So, like, over time, that's how that shit happened. So, I mean, of course, there's like, to this day, I still don't think my mom doesn't really understand what I do. She's like, oh, he does music. She tells everybody, oh, he does music. But I mean, there's always gonna be pushback. But like I said early on, I understood the sacrifice I had to make early to get to this point.
And you don't realize how much I commend you for that, because a lot of people won't make that decision early, and they find themselves older and regretting it. Let me see. What's the coolest shit you've done?
The coolest shit I've done?
Yeah.
I met Jeff Bezos.
Where, how, and how was that?
So when they had the Super Bowl in Atlanta 2 years ago, Meek Mill is really cool with Robert Kraft, and like I said, Brinks manages Meek. So Robert Kraft had an after party for the players and the players' families at the hotel that all the players were staying at, and they had like a backstage and then another backstage. The backstage was for like the regular, like the regular players, like the players that were on the team, people who like you're like, okay, cool, that's such and such.
Yeah, not Brady and them.
Yeah, so then they had another backstage that we got to go to because we're with Meek, where there's like the super exclusive backstage. So it's like Robert Kraft, Mark Rubin.
I say, yeah, my man. Yeah, I was about to say, I know Ruben was back.
Yeah, fucking Gronk, Brady, and I happened to be going to the bar, and Jeff Bezos walks up, and I was like, okay, like shit, this Jeff Bezos, all right, shit. And I was like, at the time, I was just trying to get my drink. I was like, bro, I need a Casamigos. He's like, what you drinking? Like Casamigos. He was like, take 2 of those. So the bartender pours up 2 Casamigos. We toasted up. He was like, hey man, good game today, right? I said, yeah, cool. Toasted up, took our shot, and I was like, nice to meet you, man. He said, nice to meet you too. And we did. We went parted our ways. But that was pretty cool. Like I was like, yo, this, like I was in the presence of the richest nigga in the world at the time, and I was like, bro, you're a person. Okay, cool. You're human. You take shots. Cool. Okay. Okay, cool. So that was cool. Shit, what's some cool shit I've done? I've done a lot of shit. Like, so
I mean, yeah, bro. Like I was thinking about the coolest story of my life, and I'm like, I don't even want to tell it now because this nigga done took a shot with goddamn Bezos.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he's a person.
He is a person.
He's just one of the richest people ever.
Boy, you see, he was proud. He was happy for his wife who just married a teacher.
Facts.
And the people shit on his wife for marrying a teacher. It's like, hey man, money's not
happiness because she has too much money. She got too much money now. Now she just wants somebody that understands her and loves her.
Yeah, and maybe somebody who's not so focused on
building. Also fucking her best friend too. So like, I mean.
So you talked about plaques on the wall. Now it's one of the things that kind of made things real for your mom. Can you talk about some of those plaques on the wall and some of your other biggest accomplishments?
Shit. I have about 10 plaques now. I think like
Tell me about them plaques. What color are they?
So the one I got one behind me, that's a gold. That was Arizona Reservists, FML, Arizona Reservists. I got one for Press, Cardi B Press. That's 2 times platinum now. I got one for Dej Loaf, back in the club. I got one for No Fear, Dej Loaf. I got one for Little Sky's Eye. What else? I got Uzi for Eternal Take.
How you feel about Uzi and his little
man? Hey man, shit. That's what you got. When you're young with a lot of money, you just do stupid shit. So that's what young with a lot of money doing stupid shit looks like.
We was young and broke and did stupid shit.
Yeah, so like I can only imagine now, like young and with a lot of money, that's what you do, dumb shit like that.
That's fair, bro. I hear niggas be trying to steal Uzi sauce. Like I really hear like he's really like that guy out here. And I listen to like if Uzi puts out a project, I listen to it once, but he doesn't make music for me. What's Uzi like?
Uzi cool, bro. He's fun. Like he's just, bro. He's like, I don't know how to explain. Like it's weird when you know somebody for so long that just has a lot of money. So it's like when you have access, like I told you, like money buys you time and access. So like he has the ability to say like tomorrow, hey, I want to go buy. He can go buy an apartment complex tomorrow if he wanted to, and just turn that shit into a paintball course.
I mean, the nigga just put $24 million on his forehead.
Yeah, so I mean, like, so it's like that's just the character he is. Like he rides dirt bikes, he rides 4-wheelers, he just does fun shit. Like I can't even be mad. Like Meek's the same way. Meek does the same shit. Like I remember doing we did the shoot for his album cover, and he had some dirt bikers for the championship album. He had some dirt bikers in there. And as soon as we got finished shooting, he went and hopped on a dirt bike and was doing fucking donuts around the parking lot. And the director was so confused because they thought it was a game that he didn't really ride dirt bikes, but he's like, nah, I really do this dirt bike shit.
Yeah, bro. Didn't he got in trouble a little while back for acting up on the four wheelers in the video?
Well, that was some bullshit.
I mean, yeah, I know it's on some bullshit, but the fact is, like, he's into off road vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
How did that? So you got a relationship with me? How did that 6ix9ine shit hit for you?
No comment.
My nigga. So you talked about having a mentor and how that mentor like has really helped and guide you. Have you found a mentee?
So I definitely try to take people under my wing. The answer is yes and no. So like I don't have anybody that's like that calls me daily to make sure that they tapping in and shit like that. Like I do have a couple like interns that are like I've helped out do a lot of different things, but there's not anybody that's going the length that I've gone when I was seeking a mentor. And like I said, like I'm in a place now where of course I want to give back and I want to have that mentee, but it's like I can't tell somebody that, hey, come hang out with me in the office today when they can see they can go in Atlanta and do whatever they want to today. Where I know me personally, I made the sacrifices several times where it's like, nah, fuck that. I know there's some knowledge I can take in today that I can go. I need to be at the office. I don't need to go there. I need to go to the office today to sit around this person just to hear a phone call, be a fly on the wall. So it's like, I think it's a certain mental capacity that I look for in a mentee or look for in somebody who seeks mentorship, because now it's like there's a certain drive that it takes to, or there's a certain dog that I know I have in me that if I see that in somebody else, I'm more than happy to unleash that shit and really help them go to the next point.
Bro, I think though, because of what you do, people see the glamour side of it and they say, I want to be there, but you're not on social media like you could be. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I remember one day watching one of your lives playing spades, and it's like, bro, you over here playing spades, but I'll bust this nigga ass in spades for one. And two, like you're not out here showing people what it is that you're actually doing and what it's taking to get there. And not that you owe it to anybody, but so many people take for granted what it means to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. I got a couple of real questions for you, and I hate doing real questions, but fuck it. So you're based out of Atlanta, and I think Atlanta is a goddamn echo chamber because when I left Atlanta, I had Migos in a place that they weren't at until Bad and Bougie came out. But I didn't know any better because that's where I was at. That's where I was going out at. That's what I'm hearing. And then I moved across the country to San Diego, and I go, hey, bro, y'all play Migo? Y'all play a little Future out here? What y'all niggas playing? So when you're working with different artists and producers, how is it getting them to see the world outside of Atlanta?
That's where touring comes in. Like when they get their first taste of going and doing a show in a different state or out the like just get away from their environment and they see a little different, then they'll realize that like, oh damn, this shit is bigger. Like they understand where those streaming numbers come from. Like because as whenever you're looking at it just on a computer or on a printout, all you see is analytics. You don't really see the people. You don't see the expressions that people give you and all that shit. So when they finally go out of state for an out of state show, like a booking, even if it's a club walkthrough, they get to start experiencing like, yo, like I'm actually touching people outside of my little vicinity. So like it opens their eyes, and that's when like it either clicks for them. They either want the most, or that's when the artist folds and be like, nah, fuck this. I don't want to do. I don't want to be a star no more. I don't want to do that. And that's where the reality sets in.
I think that's so interesting because a lot of artists don't think about what it is to be what they are, right? Some people do it for the fame of it and the glitz and the glamour. Other people do it because they actually enjoy the art. But between the both of them, they don't really take in both that can kind of come in with that lifestyle and figuring out what the balance between that is. And I truly believe the ones that figure it out, the ones that make it, are the ones that learn how to like skirt that thing. Because yeah, being known by people is cool. But like I know some artists, right? And again, I'm gonna speak to my hometown. You got artists who had crazy buzz in a small town, and they really think that like they're out here. And then you find another artist who doesn't have that same buzz in the hometown, and then 5, 7, 10 years later, you find out the work they've been doing in the city, and you see the plaques on the wall, you see the writing credits, you see the producing credits, and it's the stuff that doesn't necessarily get you the glitz and glam, because it's not like when a song comes on, you hear Sunny Digital, you know what I mean? Or it's not them actually rapping on. You go, even though your favorite back home rapper has all the hits back home that nobody else in the world gives a damn about and has not been able to monetize, this guy that you were shitting on and calling corny, or this guy that you may not have rocked with, has actually done what you thought your favorite rapper should have been doing, just because they didn't get caught up on the extra shit. They didn't get caught up on pleasing people who can't help them get to the next place. You know what I mean? It was actually working on developing the craft and building relationships with the people who can put them in the right rooms. Because, bro, you know good and well, there's a nigga who on the east side right now who you don't know, or somebody from North Carolina, which, you know, your North Carolina fandom like makes my stomach turn. But there are those people who can make the dopest beat, can give you the nicest 16, but you ain't heard it yet.
Facts.
And it don't matter. So what advice would you give to young artists or young producers to try to catch someone like like you's ear? You know what I mean?
You gotta keep shooting your shot, man. Because everybody, the reality of how this shit works, especially with the internet, everybody's gonna get a shot. Now, getting a shot, it's like when you get the opportunity to take the big shot, are you gonna fold on the pressure, or are you gonna come through and capitalize on all your opportunities? And you also got to understand the difference between a good opportunity and just some bullshit. Because a lot of people, like, I hear time and time again, like, I have family members that hit me up, like, they think that because I do music that I'm supposed to help them. Like, nah, my nigga, like, the same way I had to work, I'm not just gonna hand it to you because you're my cousin. I don't give a fuck. Like, nigga, the same sacrifices I had to make, you gonna start making too. Like, I got cousins that are like, some are actually decent. Some make terrible fucking music. But it's like, the reality of it is like, nah, I know it's shit's funny as hell, but like, I'm like, y'all can't, I don't take this shit as a joke. Like, this shit, like once again, I can't emphasize enough, this shit is real life for me. Like, I feed my family on this. I want to like create a real legacy from doing it, like break generational curses. So in doing that, like, I can't, anybody that comes through and be like, oh yeah, put me on. Like, I got homies from high school, like my really, really good friends that tried to rap. And I was like, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't got nothing for you right now. Like, because you're not seeing a vision of what I'm already doing. Like, you want me to take away, I have had people reach out, like, yo, let's go start this and we can do this together, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I'm already doing it. Fuck, I need to go start something else for. Why don't you try to figure out how to fit yourself into the system I'm creating, and we can work cohesively, like make the shit work. Other than that, like, I'm not willing to make the same sacrifices I made 10 years ago to backtrack and start over. Like, that's not it.
Hold on, Juju. So you got people who will come to you saying, let's start. People who are pretty much ignoring what you've done, what you've accomplished, and saying, hey, bro, let's start over with me. And it's
for sure.
Why? Like, why would you not say, how can I fit my way into what you're already doing that is successful? And maybe I take a back seat to some other people that you've already working with, because, bro, you got to put food on your table. And they saying, no. I want to be Jay. I want you to be Dame. And we're going to start Rockefeller right now today.
Bro, it happens every time. Every time. Like, I've had that happen to me at least 4 times with my real friends, like people that like have sat at the table with my mama. Real friends. But it's like, I can't get mad at them. all I can do is be like, all right, like you tried, you shot a shot. Your shot just was not. You didn't make it.
Yeah, it's like, tell me what like Gucci Man said, what's the budget? Like yeah, nigga, like you, if you make more money and make more sense to what I'm doing, we got something. Maybe.
Nah, man, you'll be surprised, bro. You will be surprised.
A nigga wants you to goddamn throw $1,000 into them to make them something, and it ain't there yet. Like,
I've seen it all, bro. I'm telling you.
All right. So, lastly, as we bring this to an end, like when we talked back during the summer, we talked about some bigger plans, and I remember it was a post that you posted about like schools and stuff, and I told you about like a bigger plan about like writing curriculums, or excuse me, having curriculums written that are more fitted to making people successful in life. And I know how passionate you are about music, but I also know that there are other things that you want to touch. And music is helping you get to that place. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So what are some of those other things that you want to do outside of music to help the Black community?
Education, man. Like I think that we've had such a when you really get inside these inner cities, like I'm talking about Southwest Atlanta, down Baltimore, Inglewood, Chicago, like you get into these inner cities and start talking to these kids, they're lost. They don't understand the education they're getting. The public education is not the education they need that's going to help them survive. Like we're telling them, the biggest thing I always tell kids when I go do these mentorship programs or I go back and just talk to kids, I hate telling somebody you can do anything you want to be without showing them what they can be, because literally it's a counterproductive tool mechanism. Because I'm telling this kid who literally every day he goes home, he might watch a basketball game, and he's like, he's seeing LeBron James bust people's ass. He's seeing fucking Julio Jones snag on the net. He's seeing these shits, but he's not seeing the fucking CEO of Quality Control Music out drown up a contract. He's not seeing the fucking CMO doing a marketing pitch to understand what sponsorships is. He's not seeing that. So he has no idea what a CMO is. He has no idea what a CCO is. He has no, like these certain titles. He has absolutely no clue, or she has absolutely no clue. So it's like, for me, the educational component of it is like showing people like, yo, these are the things that a business needs to become successful. There's certain pieces of a business, like you do these, you can have any one of these roles, and each one of these roles has a specific skill set that is literally tuned for that role, and you can do that. So I think for me, it's like that educational component of teaching that. So we have like, with music, we just got inducted to this program called A2IM, which is the American Association of Independent Music, and literally it's a bunch of different indie labels. It's about 20 labels they chose in the world, 20 labels in the world, and you basically do these educational programs where you get to go back to different. You go into different foundations, you go into different communities, and you teach kids about literally the fundamentals of business outside of regular business. Like, so they're learning about publishing, and they're learning how to properly set up PROs, because there's a real business in publishing. Like we talked about earlier, there's art. You don't have a homie that was an artist that now is a writer. You get paid healthy as a writer. So, but they don't understand that you can manage that writer, or you have to need somebody that does their publishing. Teaching kids about NFTs and understanding that like there's a whole new form of digital currencies where Bitcoins, Dogecoins, all the shit is money.
Why you think Jack Dorsey selling his first tweet for all this money, like this new digital memorabilia? Like that shit is blowing up. Like
it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, when my homeboys in the group, and they're just pulling their money together, and they're just buying different digital media as a group, because they know that this is a new thing. Like digital memorabilia is taking off, man. And Juju, bro, I respect so much of what you do. Like your grind to get to where you are. And like in this interview, like, bro, I've learned that you have legitimate relationships with people. Had no idea you had those relationships with. And that's not even why I wanted to have the conversation. it's because that you are doing something in the music industry that more people need to know about, because everybody looks at artistry and they go, oh, I gotta be Gladys Knight. Fuck the Pips.
Nah.
Like,
I'll take the bag. The Pips is supposed to make any day of the week.
Right. And you go, you know that Gladys Knight didn't write every song she sang, right?
You own none of the shit. She don't have the masters to that shit.
You know what I mean? Like, she didn't, she didn't just go in there and make that beat. She didn't book that tour. She didn't. There's so much about the music industry that people don't understand. And I think it's so important to pull all of this stuff out, because oh my God, no. So here I do. I'll make one military reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
The actual war fighter gets the glory for going in there and doing what it takes to win the war, right? But you have all these supporting institutions that don't get the respect and love that they may deserve for making sure that war fighter is equipped to win the war.
For sure.
So the war fighter comes home, the war fighter gets the awards, he gets the love, he gets all this, like, oh my God, yes, you won the war. But that war fighter didn't order his bullets. That war fighter didn't watch the war fighter didn't fix the vehicle that he's going into the convoy on. You know what I mean?
Like, but using that reference, the war fighter has a small window of their fame.
Yes.
But the person who was in charge of creating the general, the person who sent them out there, the person who created the strategy is going to have 100 of those war fighters. So he has 100 of those stories that he can tell.
Man, look here, Juju. If you ever want to take a sidestep, not a step back. No. I say a sidestep into just having conversations that matter in this world. Just know that there is an open seat on this platform for you, because I can keep talking, and I'm just not going to, because I care about my audience. But there's a lot that we can talk about. I enjoy conversing with you, and bro, I appreciate your mind so much, because when I look at our freshman class at Morehouse, right? Damn all the tight suit wearing, Wall Street, finance, damn all them who did the shit that Morehouse wanted us to come there and do. I look at somebody like you and what you're doing in music. I look at Tone and see what he's doing as a DJ. I look at somebody like Marv, who flipped shooting ciphers to shooting street nigga music videos to making real relationships in the Atlanta music industry, to turn that into creating content for IBM.
Mm-hmm.
I look at motherfuckers like y'all and I go, God put me here for a reason. Like, you allowed me to meet some of the most brightest minds in the world, but people who said, nah, I'm gonna go a different route. Like, I'm not gonna do it the way that my mama and them want me to do it. Because I'm gonna tell you a quick story when we're done with this about mamas and the way they view life and shit. But like, niggas going a different route in order to achieve their goals and finding success in that, man. And I love it. I appreciate it, bro. Shout out to you. Is there anything else you want to say before we close this out?
Nah, man, I appreciate you for having me. I support everything you got going, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro. You're welcome here anytime. Like, anytime you want to come talk, get some shit off your chest, just know, you hit me. I always have time.
For sure.
Thanks, Juju. Don't hang up yet. Big baby, yeah!